Welcome back to the channel, Hex Tribe. I've got a very, very special guest with me here today. You might have seen him on Twitter lately making waves with the latest version of this application that he just built. Currently launched in the Android App Store and coming very soon to the iOS App Store. I truly believe this app will be something that makes Hex go viral in the mainstream. And I'm talking about the average, everyday person. A lot of people lose the plot along the way and forget that we're all here and we're all into Hex for adoption, and onboarding and bettering the user experience are literally the only things, the main things that make the price go up. It's not mini games, it's not side quests, it's good old fashioned adoption and getting a wallet into the hands of the everyday user. And I believe that's what the mission of Staker app is today. So if you guys haven't heard of gostaker.com, shameless referral link in description below. But without further ado, let's welcome the lead developer, CEO, owner, whatever, 0x Steph from Staker. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me, Matt. I really appreciate it. And it's been a long time. I remember when I first created HEX Live, I was around March or April 2020.
I almost forgot about Hex
on.
Live.
You had me on. I think if you look back into your videos, I'm one of the first that you interviewed back then. So glad to be back.
It's been a long time. We have people that don't remember this, but Hex.live was like the early prototype for Staker app today. And you also had a lot to do with Hex.vision, obviously V1. Guys, Steph is an ex-Google engineer. He's got a lot of street cred, 8 years at Google, right? And now full-time in blockchain, right?
Yeah, I did a bit of business there, privacy. I was in charge of whole Google Ads product privacy for about 3-4 years. And then I finished in New York building application for kids to help them to learn how to read. So yeah, engineering, business, product, policies, privacy, security. I've done all the things you would want to do while working for a big IT company. So great experience. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So with all your experience in life, and it seems like you've really you're kind of a polymath in the technical world. What is that giving you in terms of the overall, like having the experience that you have in such a variety of things? How does that transfer into Staker app, and what is the main mission behind Staker app? What's the driving force? Because I think people need to understand why you built it and what's the point of this whole app.
So I really loved I've been in crypto since roughly 2014, and so I dabbed into Bitcoin, obviously, into Ethereum when it came out. I've seen a couple of cycles and mania. So you learn a lot, but kind of community, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex, these are community money, community-based money, right? There's no one company, there's no one agency or governments issuing the money. Is the people that comes in and rally around values, memes, that gives value to these tokens, right? And I would say that throughout my professional career, I always wanted to use technologies for having high social impact. And it's why I finished doing, before leaving Google, working on a kids literacy product. And a lot of it had to do with how do you create an experience for kids to learn how to read when they don't even know how to, to parse what's written on a button, like on a mobile application or a tablet. So with finances, it's kind of a similar things that I wanted to bring to the table, where a lot of people throughout the world, they're struggling with proportion, statistics, basically dealing with numbers, right? It's really cumbersome. And finance is one step further, right? How do you deal with numbers today, tomorrow, in 10 years? So all my experience, I'm trying to bring that into the product. And that's why we came out with this concept of leagues, which was a simplification, visual simplification and memes of what a share in the HEX ecosystem was. And I think that's maybe, regardless of Staker app, I think that may be one of the largest contribution that we had, is talking about shares without talking about shares.
Yeah. Really simplifying things for the users is what's going to get people on board. If you start talking to people about the share system right off the bat, their eyes will glaze over. They'll stop listening right away. I personally, I used to be in product at a tech company, 5 years designing apps and websites and things for various companies. And it was all about user experience, right? It was all about what's the best workflow, what's the best language, copywriting, all these different things. And it got slightly technical at times. But what I think a lot of people forget is that you are not the user, right? You being whoever might be watching this, you might be what's called a power user, right? You might be a very technical person, and you've been in HEX for 1 or 2 years now. Maybe you've been in crypto for even longer, and to you, it's like it's like your first language. It's just like the back of your hand. MetaMask just makes sense. Most people don't even understand. They see 0x ABC 123 and they're like, what does this thing even mean? What is a public address? Is it okay if I share this with somebody else, or is it like what is the difference between a private key and a public key? What are all these different tokens? How do I know which ones are good or bad? You need to abstract a lot of the complexity away from the user to make it much more simple. And that's what I think Staker app is trying to do. Now, I want to address some, I guess, criticisms of Staker app right off the bat that have just come out, and try to because I agree with certain criticisms, but I also want to totally destroy some other totally baseless claims. Now, when you log into Staker app these days, to me it just looks like a total visual revamp of Staker app V1. It's much more visually appealing, and it's got just a more fluid user interface. But people have been saying that they want things like more wallet tracking, and I do agree, right? More wallets to track would be nice. I personally do have over 3 wallets to track, and for those that don't know, currently Staker app lets you track 3 external and 3 personal.
The watch list.
Yeah, for a total of 6. But I believe you've already stated
For
that
free.
For free.
You just need to sign in for free. So we gave a lot of things for free for more than 2 years, nearly 2 years and a half. And we had actually a couple of users, I mean, non-negligible amount of users that are tracking more than 10 wallets, 20 wallets, 30 wallets, right? We never charge for that. We pay the server cost of just getting the data, displaying the stuff, never ask anything for users. So it may have been a mistake, right? Maybe initially we should have been a bit more conservative and say, hey, you want this is a freemium product, this is the free experience, we give you a little bit for free, and we'll keep doing that for years to come. And if you want more, well, like many products out there, most businesses, they charge when you want more. So I think the backlash we had is legitimate. We were expecting that just because we removed some of the previous capabilities. So I understand the frustration. At the same time, if you want Staker to be around for decades to come, it needs to be sustainable, right? It needs to be sustainable whether I'm here leading the company or not. So.
Yeah, and there's other people behind the scenes, right? It's a full company. I don't think people realize there's at least 5 people, working under this umbrella. But I do agree with the criticism that more wallets to track would be nice for the free tier, and I do believe that you've even said you talked about increasing it for the free tier, so making it up to 5 wallets instead, and that's great for people like me. I have more than 3 wallets personally, and I have less than 10, but more than 3.
Yeah, so. I mean, I just want to point out that if you have a smart wallet with Staker, and to get a smart wallet, it's kind of a one-time fee, and it's not something we collect per se, right? We just it's the cost of creating a smart wallet on the Ethereum blockchain. It's about $10. You can gain really quickly with Google Pay or Apple Pay. It's one-time fee, and you get we bump you to what we call now the premium tier, and you will get access to more features, right? So for wallet tracking, it's 10 in the external wallets, part of your portfolio, and 10 in your watch list. So again, one-time fee there. If you really want more, you can access it if you're willing to pay. If it's really important to you, just look into it. Yeah. I'm suspecting that someone that has more than 10 addresses has more than $1 per addresses on these addresses, and would be willing just to pay $10 just to try it. If not, there's other tools out there. I mean, we just try to provide an easy, simple experience. Our mission and goal is to bring people that are really struggling with finance, with crypto, so reducing friction. The 2 main friction points are with the onboarding, the creation of the wallet, and securing your seed phrase. Really, really critical and important for us. And the second friction point is the actually bridge of fiat money, meaning your US dollar, your euro, or your British pound into the crypto world. So these 2 things are the major friction points for us. We managed to tackle and reduce a bit of that friction in the past 2 years, but still way more to do. And as we're doing that, the ecosystem becomes more complex, right? When we started, we were focusing on Ethereum. Now We're going to be multi-chain, multi-token application. So how do you serve more demand and more features while keeping the experience simple? That's the kind of trade-off where we're dealing with on a daily basis.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is the ultimate purpose of, I believe, of Staker app as well, is just getting a simple on-ramp and simplifying staking for new users. I mean, I personally, I'm not gonna lie, I do not use the smart wallet feature. In fact, I was trying to set up a smart wallet just for testing purposes, and I wasn't able to. Is that feature currently disabled, or am I just stupid?
No, I mean, should work. It depends which. I mean, if you have the very latest version of the app, it should work. Otherwise, maybe there's some quirks or some bugs that we still need to figure out. But yeah, once you have the way it works really is we pre-provision. So let's just table things out that for now. But a smart wallet, what it is compared to a regular wallet, is one that can be extended, right? So most of the money that you have on your account on any addresses on the blockchain is not something that is actually really stored anywhere or that you own, right? The only thing that you can do with your seed phrase or your private key is having a claim to control that money. So there's difference between, in semantic difference between what the technology lets you do. It's not ownership per se, and I think Richard mentioned that a couple of times. It's control, right? Yeah, and there's no way to prove or to disprove that anyone else but you has also control of your seed phrase. So it's really, you cannot say that you have ownership. There is no way to prove to the world that you're the only one owning or controlling that seed phrase.
Yeah,
So that's kind of like regular addresses. They'll just let you basically interact and sign with the blockchain without much complexity. We invested in the technology called Gnosis Safe and what we call in the app smart wallets. And that has a very interesting advantage to enable a couple of properties or extend the capabilities of your wallet over time, right? You can really make your wallet programmable, which is not the case with a regular wallet. So think about the way that the same way Bitcoin is not programmable, your regular addresses are not programmable. Ethereum brought in a lot of tools that let you program tokens, and your wallets are programmable. What does it mean to be programmable? It could be enabling multi-signatures, meaning that you have the seed phrase generated by your application that is securing your wallet, but you can add another signature methods like hardware wallet. You can decide if you feel that your account is compromised to migrate it over to new owners. So all these features, we're currently finalizing some of the implementation and should be in the app in the next couple of months. But yeah, we wanted to have V2 out first with the imminent launch of PulseChain and enable this security feature in the app because it's top priority for us before the end of the year. We want to have the claim that we built one of the safest mobile wallets in the planet. That's the claim that we want to have.
sure. Yeah, I really, I mean, smart wallets do, Gnosis safes really do protect users from themselves. And although a lot of us have been in crypto for a while, I think some of these new users will definitely benefit from being able to recover their wallet if they lose their seed phrase. We know how common it is for people to lose their passwords, and we know that it takes a lot of time to drill into somebody's head how important it is to literally not lose these 12 or 24 words. And people still don't get it. They'll save it to the cloud, they'll get hacked. And so these Gnosis saves are very important for protecting the newbies, really. And just because I don't personally choose to use a smart wallet, see, we need to differentiate into two segments, I think, of users. The power users of HEX, me and you and many people watching, or the newbies, which also might be, some people watching might be newbies, but your mom or your dad or your grandma, right? These are the people we're talking about. When they're getting into HEX, they're not going to care about necessarily all these extra coins, airdrops. They're not going to care about tracking a whole bunch of wallets or even maybe using MetaMask if eventually Staker becomes easier than MetaMask, right? And I mean, it's right about kind of the same right now, in my opinion. You can still buy Ethereum on MetaMask. You can buy ETH and USDC on Staker. There's some benefits that Staker has that MetaMask does not have, but we just need to differentiate that. I think people need to realize you are not the user, and I love Staker as a tracking tool personally. So really nothing has changed for me. You guys are increasing the allowable trackable wallets to 5 five on your watch list and 5 on your external. That's 10 total. I've got less than 10, and I'm sure a lot of people do have less than 10. So that should cover about maybe 95% of users for the free tier. And people also get triggered with, the, oh, you're charging money for this. It's like, well, yeah, for the people that want to track more than 10 wallets, sure. But how many people is that? Are these just the people doing chain analysis all day and they just don't like that they can't have that for free anymore? Because I mean, there's other ways to do chain analysis. And I think $5 a month for somebody, like you said, with more than 10 wallets, they can probably afford $5 a month, right? If somebody's at that level of crypto, they can probably dish out a little money for a monthly subscription. But
It's
as
not
far
even
as
the case. As I said, it's a one-time fee
oh,
to
it's a
get to us.
one-time
It's not even
fee.
money. It's
I'm
not.
sorry.
It's not even something that we touch. It's just for you to purchase kind of the pay for the gas, basically for the smart contract being created and pre-provisioned for you. So
Oh, so it's just a one-time fee, not monthly.
we not even get the money. We pay for the gas for creating the contract and transfer the ownership. So it's like says, if it's too much, really too much for you, and you think that the experience and the service sucks. I mean, the best thing is not to use the product. And I'm sure maybe there's not, but there's other alternative out there that do just much better for free than us. And if you guys think that these products exist, please provide recommendation. I do not mind. The competition is great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, $5 to cover the gas fees to create the additional features are, I don't think that's asking too much. But like I said, I'm using the free tier. I don't even use it as a wallet, but I do love it as an aggregator and a visualization tool, and that's what it continues to be. Just to address some final FUDs points that I've heard online, somebody mentioned something about staking the coin that begins with an X that always goes down. Um, and somebody claimed falsely, just totally falsely, that Staker Wallet would support that coin. I want to remind you guys not to be idiots and not to just make up your own narratives without actually testing the wallet first. So be wary of people making these baseless claims and ask them, have you actually used the wallet yourself? Because that statement's simply not true. There's no staking for any other coins other than HEX as of right now in the app. I've tested it myself. And maybe, one day there could be, right? Because it's like you said, it's Staker app. It's not necessarily HEX only, but as of now, it's very HEX centric. So wherever that claim came from, I just wanted to squash that false claim that I saw online somewhere.
Yeah, I would say that right now, I would say 80 to 90% of the experience is really tailored for staking HEX. We have in the new version very advanced statistics telling you in HEX and USDC how much you're making on the daily basis, weekly basis, and also weekly, monthly, and yearly basis, right? So one of the only app doing that, based on your yield and T-shares, will let you multi-stake. I mean, we are the only interface in the world that lets you in one click setting up a staking ladder. That doesn't exist. And pay with whatever token you want to pay for the fees, right? You can pay use. So we have a set of features that really doesn't exist out there. And this is what we were discussing earlier about reducing friction, right? So at the end of the day, we are doing our best, and we added with V2 a bunch more of features. Some of them has to do with HEX specifically. Some of them has to do with just expanding the reach of the product, right? We've seen the growth of HEX and it's great, but it has some limitation. And there's no reason if we have a wallet and we're good at passing data from the blockchain to be servicing other community. So right now we don't have any plans to serve anything but HEX. But if you had expectation that we had built that Staker was just a HEX only app, well, you need to reset the expectation because we'll be serving more communities. It is possible that within 5 to 10 years, there's still people in the world that don't have X and don't even want to buy it and buy something else. And there's no reason for us not to serve them as long as they align with our crypto values about owning your own money and be sovereign. So
Yeah.
you need to be a bit more empathic with what other people like, right? Not everybody likes pasta or pizza. Some people like other things, and it's fine as long as they embrace the same value than you do. If you're a maxi, maybe our product is not for you. But even if you're a maxi, we may contribute to the growth of HEX, whether you want it or not, because we're gonna keep serving the ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't. People need to realize that the price grows through network effects, and at the end of the day, like I said earlier, adoption and onboarding, and to do that, you need better user experience. Is really all that matters. Making these new coins to keep people around. These hedrons of the world, these alternative games to play. They're all very good. They're all very positive in different ways. I just am skeptical that if you want Hex to pump, like who's really hearing about Hex, or yeah, who's hearing about Hedron before they're hearing about Hex. And I'm not trying to criticize. People are going to probably get mad and say I'm hating. I'm not hating at all. Hedron is great for speculative stickiness, but I've always pictured Staker to be kind of a Hex first approach, as far as right now. But going into what you already said about potentially new communities, 5 or 10 years down the line, you have a very interesting new ranking system, and this is a new feature on the homepage, where you rank all the coins on Ethereum, on the Ethereum network, by quarterly volume as opposed to market cap. And I thought that was an interesting and bold approach, because let's be honest, we need something better than market cap. Market cap is not a good way to rank the quote unquote best coins. So instead, you're choosing to go with this new ranking system that ranks coins by activity, and more specifically on-chain activity, verifiable on-chain activity, volume, right? And it might not be the perfect solution, but I do think it's better than market cap, and it would be cool to make that go viral. Now, a lot of people, they go on to Staker app and they see Bitcoin, Hex, and Ethereum in the top 3, and then they see like Shiba, and then they freak out and they say, "Oh, Shiba's bad. Why do you have Shiba on the homepage?" And it's like, well, think about when PulseChain launches, guys. Think about when PulseChain launches and you see the ranking system for the PulseChain, PulseX network, right? You're going to see things like PLS, PulseX, Hex, Hedron, and maybe, liquid loans. And that'll be the homepage. And maybe that'll be a little better for you.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is some people that are complaining about Hex gatekeeping, that wants to gatekeep on-chain data. And so once we decide, we saw that on the market, okay, there's a challenge with token listing. The kind of token that gets listed and the kind of metrics you use to rank order the tokens. So we brainstormed about 6 months ago. Okay, can we do better? Okay, can we look at liquidity, number of accounts, the medium or average size of the accounts, the volume, what can be spoofed or faked to game that ranking. So we iterated through a couple of internal iteration, and we recently came to the conclusion that you don't want to make your metrics too hard to compute or to be reused by others, right? If you want to create a new standard should be as light as possible. And we tried different things, and we came to the conclusion that one of the hardest things to cheat is on-chain volume, eliminating for anything that is related to kind of like spoofing or MEV. So when there are bots doing intra-block activity, maybe we were just tampering that. But apart from that, on-chain volume, and we aggregate that for 3 months, it's really, really hard to fake, because first you need some gas to pay for the activity. And then if you're trading, you create actual volume up and down, you create potential arbitrage opportunity for anyone watching. So so I think we came up with a very good new ranking that I'm surprised that it came from us, and that's what we do. We try to look at memes, data, on-chain data, and try to provide something that doesn't exist in the market. The last thing that we did that is a bit more different than anyone else is, like, I was looking at Dex Screener and Dex Tools and even Uniswap ranking, and they keep having these stable coins listed there, and it's like, I mean, most regular Joe users know that the stable coin USDC or USDT will be at 1 most of the time. We've seen recently that it could change, but it's not really interesting to have that ranked. So we filtered out stable coins, and now if you look at the new version of Staker app, you have what I think is one of the best token ranking, on-chain ranking in the world, and we'll do as much as possible just to promote that new ranking standard.
Yeah, it's like Hex would be ranked number 1 on Etherscan if it weren't for USDT and USDC and maybe BNB or something. But it's a very interesting approach. I do think that simplifying the metrics, not adding in anything that could be gamified, like median like number of accounts, you could just dust a whole bunch of wallets and game that one. So simplifying this is, I think, a good try, right? We need to try new things that aren't market cap. And although it might show you a ticker symbol that you don't like, it's not like we're encouraging anybody to go buy those, but it's also not like, when we switch over to the PulseChain network, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of new ticker symbols in the ranking that you do like, because, it'll all be part of the same self-referential network. Everything is kind of helping to pump everything to a degree. Getting more people into the PulseChain ecosystem is probably a net positive regardless. But it's an interesting feature, because not only is it a coin ranking list and a new attempt at potentially being a coin ranking, kind of the standard for coin ranking, but it's also a Uniswap plugin, right? You can swap and buy any one of these coins, including HEX, on a decentralized exchange that it seems to be all plugged in to the app, right? So you can go ahead and buy HEX using DEX.
Yes, that was a criticism of a subset of our users in the past. They were very happy having their smart wallet, Gnosis Safe, and some of them would just drop or use it would want to use it for more coins, right? And we came to the realization that, hey, here we're just claiming that we should have no gatekeeper, and we have some of our users that want to be sovereign over their wallets, and we're obviously promoting that new interface. We're just kind of an interface on top of the wallet, and some of them would say, well, how do I deal with my, let's say we were only supporting HEX, Ether, and USDC initially. How do I deal with my USDT, for example? And we had to explain them, just go to open a new interface called Gnosis, say found your signer account with some Ether, and we felt, okay, there's more and more demand for this type of things. We should do as much native integration as possible and token support as possible.
Yep.
For all the people that feel frustrated about accessing the whole of DeFi using Staker right now, we have a work stream that will deliver us some value, where we envision having just an extension, browser extension.
Yeah.
So imagine you have a browser extension. The browser extension will come up with a QR code. You use your mobile phone, and then now you sign directly from your phone, communicating with your extension. And you can use all of DeFi, right? So your favorite DeFi token, your Hedron dashboard, now you can use directly your mobile phone as a signer without any pain. So I think this is where it's going to unlock a broader adoption for us, so that they don't feel that they are limited at all by the interface and what we provide in the app.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And I think people really need to hear that again. It's not like decisions were made to exclude certain coins, right? Namely, I'm talking about Hedron because I really like Hedron, but it's like this is a work in progress. So if you were to enable a browser extension or a browser link within the app, kind of like MetaMask, that would allow users to do everything that they could normally do today. And just because it doesn't exist right now doesn't mean it will never exist. But also, just going back to I think also the reason the ranking system is in place on the homepage is because it is a decentralized ranking site. You're totally cutting out any centralized middlemen exchanges, because as we know, they like to fake volume. They do wash trading to increase their statistics. It really is some of the most transparent volume you can ever get in the world, and ranking by more of a recency bias, right? What's popular in the past 3 months on the most decentralized exchanges in the world. That's what we're going to show in the top 5, top 10, right? So I mean, it sounds pretty good.
It's really hard to game, and you need 3 months of volume. So whatever, if HEX, like the current ranking that you see in the top 10, right, to dislodge that and just, first of all, we didn't want a metric that we had to mingle with over time, and something fairly stable, and that no one could come in and just spoof or game. And so if you want to make it to the top of that list, you need to have serious volume for a long amount of time, right? And competing with other tokens. So for people that, and last point on the Shiba Inu and other token being listed there, whether you like it or not, there's millions of people in the world that like things that you don't like, that you don't like. So how can we imagine a world where in the app we display to any users, regardless of their tokens. Hey, these are the token holders or staker of that community. This is the kind of ROI or profit they're making over time. On that front, you have people having holding patterns of 5 days, and this is the average ROIs of users over there.
Yeah.
Do you think what's gonna happen for the Shiba holders or traders when they open the app and say, "Well, I'm part of that cohort," they're actually making less money over time than the hexicans that are sticking for the long term. Imagine on-chain data side by side profit metrics. So I think people have very short-term, time horizons. We don't, and we're used to build products and memes and using on-chain data, and we're gonna keep doing it in the way that you have not even thought about.
Yeah, thanks. I want to address some super chats. Thank you so much, Yoon Kawil, for the $5 super chat. He says his whole ass doesn't do crypto on iPhone. When can we expect a PC version? Is that something on the radar?
Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, a PC version of Staker app, like a web.
Yeah,
A web
we're gonna start with web. We're using this a technology called Flutter to build the mobile application, and that let us just create a new build, a web build. So the web version may not have all the bells and whistles that the mobile application has, especially for security reason, right? We Most people don't know, but actually a browser extension is way less secure than a mobile application in terms of like securing seed phrases. So we will still rely on the mobile application to sign transaction. But for sure, we want to have the application and our metrics in more format, more devices. So web will be coming. Right?
Okay. Yeah, he wants to know when. So I know software is hard. Any time estimate on that?
It's hard to say because we have so many. First, the priority, I'm going to be very transparent. The priority for us this year is to have the claim that we are the safest mobile wallet in the world, right? And so our priority is going to be to work on recovery, because this is maybe 1 out of 3 tickets, support tickets we receive has to do with people who don't realize. We know when you're in Twitter just shipping away and talking about price, you don't realize that a lot of people are losing money because self custody is really hard. And on our side, we see what are the pain points, what are the real pain points for users, and there's no more painful pain point that people losing money because they lost their seed phrase. So we're gonna work on recovery, on multi-sig, because we have a bunch of our users, especially some power users with a lot of money, that said, well, they would be more comfortable moving a lot of money there if they could set up a multi-sig wallet with, let's say, a hardware wallet on top of the seed generated on device, right? So these are kind of really, really strong things. We're gonna focus a lot on security for anything related to more accessibility, like different languages, different currencies. Now we mostly index on USD for most of the things we display in the app, and web, PC, Mac. It's coming a bit later, but we're growing the team, so the more hands we have with us, the more we'll be able to build and fast.
Okay, cool. Now we've got somebody, Tiago. What's going on, Tiago? I've seen you around. He paid $500 to call you greedy, it seems like. If Staker app becomes mostly non-free, I want to stop right there. It's mostly free. If you were listening to the earlier conversation, it's not mostly non-free. It's mostly free. It's still free. The paid tier is a one-time payment for additional tracking, and Steph has already said he's going to make up to 10 wallets free, trackable for free. So he says there might be new competitors making a new app, which is Alex from Hedron, which is free. So that I say, great, competition is a good thing. The more competition, the better. And take Steph's market share. Ooh, I hope you're. Are you scared, Steph? Are you scared? Simple as that. Don't be greedy, Steph. How dare you charge $5? You might lose all you've built. I've used Staker app since day one because it was free, and it still is free, Tiago. It still is free. I don't know if you missed that point. It's free for most people unless you want to track more than 10 wallets. All we're doing here is looking at blockchain data. Well, that's all maybe you're doing. Other people want to use it as a smart wallet. So it's much more than just looking at blockchain data for some people. Let's keep it real here. Yes, let's keep it real here, Tiago. I think a lot of what you said was very focused around your perspective. But some of those statements are just not true. Thanks for
Yeah,
the
I think
tip, though. Thank you.
the thing that is Thiago is mentioning is like, yeah, we welcome competition. I was actually surprised that there was not more people building tools and wallets around the X ecosystem. So yeah, these things are very welcome. Then um, again, some people maybe feel bad or frustrated because we're not actively or deeply integrating the token that they hold. But at any point in time, we said that we're gonna be pumping your bags, right? So if you hold some sort of exotic token and you want us to do some deep integration, uh, if it doesn't make sense for us, our missions, and is with regard to everything that we want to accomplish, yeah, I'm sorry that. And then, yeah, the rest is a bit mischaracterization because the app is free. You can download it for free. You can still track up to, yeah, 6 wallets
6
on the
wallets
watch
now, but
list. Watch list.
soon to be more.
It,
Soon to be
it could
10.
it could be more. It could be more. We need to be cautious about the things that we do for free or not. But yeah, Thiago, if you really don't like what we are putting out there and you think there's a better tool out there, feel free to use it. But the app is free right now, so yeah.
Yeah, I think competition is good. I'm looking forward to whatever Alex decides to build. And I don't think I don't think it's greedy to start a business and to have a paid tier personally, and a free tier.
I didn't collect billions of dollars into sacrifice, making loose promises, right? So if you want to keep it really real, and you know, saying that I'm a greedy person, you should think twice.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. The irony of us being against promise coins and now waiting for PulseChain is not lost on me. But yeah, just a kind of a false claim there that it's mostly non-free. It's mostly free, and it's doing all the same things it used to do. So that's keeping it real. Thanks for the 500 euro. I hope you feel better after that one. I hope getting that off your chest was helpful. And if you don't like it, don't use it. But yeah, somebody said I'm sure Coffee will buy Hex with it. Yeah, yeah, that will be some good Hex buying money. Um, but yeah, I hope you feel better that you got that off your chest. I hope you can find some inner peace. So there's one more thing that I wanted to pull up. So one thing I do like about the tracking aspect is now instead of only being able to see Hex, USDC, and ETH, you can see all the coins in your wallet. So I can go in and see all my Hedron, all my
Almost all.
sorry, almost all, all my perpetuals. But what I wanted to know about the perpetuals is that this is kind of maybe a feature request, and I'm sure you have enough of those already. But for somebody like me, that like I have a bunch of DESI, it's a perpetual contract, right? Um, but right now that doesn't play in towards my staker app ranking, even though technically it's as if I'm holding T-shares. Would there be any
Mhm.
way to factor in perpetual contracts to the ranking system?
Yeah, we had a couple of discussion. Some people think that things are very personal, but I had a couple of calls and discussion with Alex, the founder of Hedron, and Brian Deepcatcher, the founder of Maxi, to see how we can best serve our users. And yeah, it's still not the highest priority for us. It's not a big issue just to do the computation. So at least for the Maxi, adding the Maxi holding as part of UT shares, something we can do. The biggest question for us is more the philosophical aspect, right? People doing a native stake and people having a non-native stake, something that you can sell at any point in time, is not really the same in terms of like average duration and what you to share that. So there's no issue for us adding that really. Um, yeah, it's more about us just deciding, okay, if we have all this new derivative product that comes to the app and every users want their little features being added, you can imagine that becomes really, really hard to manage as we scale. Um, so TBD, for me as a product owner on the app, if I really see a huge demand for any of these things, we may have to move right to implement these things. Right now, only very advanced users are asking us for these things, and they tend to be the loudest one. But I have all the data, and most users don't know or care about this type of things. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if they get more popular in the future, that could be, bumped up to the top of the feature list. I'm assuming it's the same thing for this question here, Metallic Elmo. I'm also curious about this HSIs. People that have HSIs,
Mhm.
I'm sure they're not currently ranked, but that might be cool to one day have.
Yeah. So again, priority for this year is, I can ask the question back to the audience. Would you prefer, for your own sake and bags, us to bring in, millions of users to the application by servicing more community than making the app more secure, translated in 10 or 20 languages across, available on mobile, but also on the web? Do you think we should prioritize that, or your little HSIs? No offense to you. You may have big exercise, but it's just a rhetorical question to make you guys think about the bigger picture here. And we are a limited team. We need to prioritize the set of features we put into the app. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean these things do have a small impact on the percentage of overall users that even know about HSIs and perpetuals is very small compared to the whole. And these are again things for power users, things that I like. I like them, but that's also why I personally choose to simply use Staker app as again. I'll say it again. I use it as a visualization tool. And you don't have to use the smart wallet function. And even if you do use the smart wallet function and you decide to become a power user later, you can take your private keys, restore them on a MetaMask, and do all the Hedron, all the perpetuals, all the anything else you might like from there. But again, for the lay person, we need to really think about what's a good experience to get them into crypto, and just to make it really easy. Again, from a security first mindset, because I'll repeat what Steph said earlier. 1 in 3 support tickets are related to people losing their private keys, and that sucks. And if somebody has $10,000 on a smart wallet and they lose it all and they lose their private keys, what are the chances of them coming back into crypto? What are the chances of them
Mhm.
or just saying,
It, cre-
"Oh, crypto is bullshit. I'm going away."
it creates a lot of bitterness. It reduces the network effect. So, I mean, we see firsthand the app over the past 2 years have been installed on more than 150,000 devices, right? It's now currently installed in 120,000 devices.
Wow.
We're working on the next million right now. This is what we're working towards. So a lot of people complaining about the things that we do is not enough or it's not the way I want it. Well, we're the largest distributors and promoter of the HEX ecosystem in the world because of the amount of reach that we have. So if you think that we came to that place by mistake or by pure luck, that might be your advice. But I think we are already reaching for, a larger, broader audience. So that's where we're going. Security is first for us. I hate to see people losing money, and when someone loses 5K, 1K or more, it creates so much bitterness that they might never come back or discuss about the experience with the next person. Moreover, if someone gets hacked, that creates selling pressure most likely for the token that you have. So security is actually very, very important. And there's some second or third order effect that most people don't think about. But yeah, we're discussing with the team on a daily basis. Yeah.
That's very true. Very true. Yeah, and it really is sad to see when people do lose it all and then they just decide to leave forever. This is a question that I don't know. I don't know the answer to this either. This person Condor says, "I'm not a fan of having my seed words in any software. Do you plan on integrating a wallet backed by Ledger/Trezor?"
So our strategy, I mentioned it earlier, is to enable multi-sig capabilities in the app and an integration with your favorite hardware wallet. So basically, your account or your wallet is going to be protected by two seeds, right? The one derived from your hardware wallet and the one derived from the application.
Okay, so do you think Gnosis Safes, which is the for the people watching, that's the technology behind Staker apps, smart wallets.
Yes.
Do you think of them as being just as safe as a ledger, or even more safe?
The question is too broad.
Mm.
Safety is a spectrum, and it depends on your risk profile, right? Depending on your country, depending on how clean is your digital hygiene, safety means nothing. You could have a ledger and lose your ledger, and what do you do then?
Hmm.
So is it safer to have a ledger if you can physically lose it? So these questions are often asked by people that really don't really know about security. So the way to think about security is a spectrum. Every individual have different security profile and threat models depending where you are in the world, what tools do you use, are you a target, right? If you're the high-profile person, let's say you're Richard Hart or a president, the number of people trying to hack you is much higher. So your risk profile should be different. If you have $100 on your wallet, nobody is trying to go after it. People know that you have the money, so you're more likely just to be targeted. And safety itself, the best way to security to think about it is you need to think about segmentation, right? Is it better to have one hardware wallet or three of them in different locations, right? Is it better to have a wallet or a seed that could be generated by one provider or a second provider, right? If you have two hardware wallets coming from Ledger, is better versus having one from provider A, provider B, provider C. So I think about security more than most people, crypto security in the planet, and I can tell for sure that our users are safer than people that have been using, for example, MetaMask for staking HEX. Yeah. The only main issue that we see again and again is people actually uh, being the single point of failure and losing their stuff. And it could be something written on paper, it could be your own physical hardware wallet, or even something stored copied in the cloud, which is not often advised if not encrypted. So my answer is like, yeah, security is complex. There's no clear single bullet point answer for that. It depends on the user.
Yeah, I think there's different things. Yeah, Ledger versus Gnosis Safe. I understand what you're saying. For somebody brand new getting in, why should they care about a ledger that's way too complex, right? But if somebody starts to accumulate, maybe $100,000 worth of crypto, they might decide to care more and then worry about things like a ledger or a Trezor. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people walk around all day with MetaMask on their cell phone that they use every day, and they don't listen to the advice of, hey, maybe you should use a burner cell phone, a cell phone that's locked away in a drawer somewhere. They don't care because they want the convenience over the security. And so in that case, if you're going to be carrying around a wallet on your mobile device, I do think Gnosis Safe is safer. I do like ledgers and Trezors, and I do use hardware wallets too. But it's funny that there are also issues of what if you, like you said, what if you lose the physical hardware device, or what if there's a 0-day exploit on the hardware itself that you're not aware of, or what if
So the answer is not, there's no one single answer. The best security is achieved by more segmentation. But you don't want overly complex segmentation, otherwise it becomes unmanageable for you, right? So if you have a lot of money to secure, you need to take the effort to make your life, the security protection, a bit more cumbersome. The same way, if you had a huge villa with a lot of value, a lot of jewelry to protect, you would start investing in security cameras. You would start investing maybe in I don't know, guards, physical guards, and putting high fences. So security spectrum, and depends what you want to protect. And the best way to segment your stuff is to spread them, to segment, right? So we're gonna do in the product. That's why this topic is really, really dear to us. We really want to drive the number of people shooting themselves in the feet down to a very, very minimal number. And right now, what we see is not security is not someone else coming for you; it's yourself losing your shit, right? So people need to think a bit more about that, right? And you can have a ledger, and I get this message, once a week. There was a fire incident or a flood, or I moved places, or I've been broken in, and whether you are a ledger or not, this is gone. This is gone.
Yeah, whether you have a MetaMask or a Gnosis Safe or a Ledger, if you lose your private keys, if you upload your private keys to iCloud and somebody hacks your iCloud password because it was, your password was password 123, that's your fault. I mean, that's bad security practice in general. So I mean, it's very unfortunate, but if you lose your private key, let's say you have a Ledger, for example, you can never reveal that private key again after setting that ledger up, as far as I know. So yeah, human error is hard to solve for. It's really just more like education is needed to instill the importance of this into different people.
And the way we're gonna start basically addressing that in the product, and you'll see it coming in the next coming months, is by incentivization, right? We mentioned that we may coming up with a coins, right? Well, that coins will have security practices built in, right? So the way to mint it or to be rewarded is going to be based on how much you care about security. Same thing in a product. We're going to use what we call the cloud recovery, meaning double encryption keys on top of your seed phrase, hosted in the cloud of your choice. So you have your own keys, and it's going to be wrapped into a second layer of encryption, a unique key that we generate for yourself. So we cannot redo the seed phrase. You cannot unlock it without just you cannot access your backup without coming back to us. But this way, even if someone hacks you, you're safe. Even someone hacks us, you're safe. So yeah, we are studying on a daily basis the state of the art of crypto security, not only from a technical standpoint, but from a UX standpoint. And it's not actually safe to be the single point of failure. And I want to really stress that anyone that tells you get a single hardware wallet and you'll be safe is not telling you the full story. They probably don't receive the number of tickets that we're receiving on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a hardware wallet's great, and in terms of it being separated from the device. But it also is one more thing to lose, and it's one more thing to learn about. Ledger Live and all this different software. But yeah, I still I like hardware wallets. I do recommend them. But
Yeah, it's good.
anyway,
It's good in complement of other things, for sure.
yeah, there's different risks with every different approach. So, let's see. I had one more question for you before we wrap up. So, I think I really do like a lot of things about Staker app. The design is one of my favorite parts. Just it looks like a very professional, something that's real and tangible, and it makes
Thank you.
Hex more real, rather than this imaginary internet money. I also really like that you're showing, for external wallets that you're just tracking, you're also showing the balances of other coins on that wallet, so I can see all my Hedron that's liquid, all my perpetuals and stuff, and the USD value of many of these tokens as well, because I hold other tokens now besides just Hex. I mean, it's mostly Hex, but yeah, it's nice to see those other coins. There's a couple of things that I'll just DM you offline regarding feature requests or just interesting bugs
Yeah.
I might have found. But I recommend that to everybody else too. If you have, I'm sure you're overloaded enough, but if you have a really well thought out feature request, or if you have a really explicit bug that you've discovered, send those to Steph very, very explicitly. Describe them as best as you can, rather than make these generic complaints that really don't do anything. If you want the app to be better, first of all, try it out. Ask yourself, have you actually tested the app on the phone, or are you parroting what other people are saying, or did you actually download the app, right? So after you've downloaded the app, tested it out, figured out what you like or what you don't like, what you'd like to see, and what the bugs might be, then you can submit tickets to Steph or to the Staker app team behind the scenes. That would be my
Yeah,
recommendation.
I just added in the chat the location where people can reach out to us. So it's either help at staker.app, or now with the V2 version, in the security section or settings section, you can do in-app support, which is really convenient because we already have a bit of context of where you were in the app when you had an issue. So it helps us with resolving your whatever you have a bit faster.
Yeah. One to address this question, Turtles only. If you have an Android phone, there is a V1 APK out right now, so Steph is already taking care of that. If you really want V1 instead of V2, there's an APK file. I'm not sure if that's available on iOS devices.
I have to say that within a couple of months, we will deprecate the V1, right? So all the V1 version is calling to different backend endpoints on our side. They will be deprecated after we migrate enough users to the new version. So we'll communicate about it by email and push notification, but do not rely on V1 for too much longer.
Okay, good to know. Here's a question I want to know. When can I get my referral money?
Yeah, this is the worst experience that we provided, and maybe the promise that we've broken with our users is we did not spend any money so far in marketing at all, right? We had the plan for a couple of reasons, but we thought that having the mouse of wire type of kind of growth would be much better for us, especially when it comes to money having something online might not be an advertisement online not the best, but also the main advertisement network, namely Google, my former employer, and Facebook, have been historically very strict with crypto advertisement. So we felt that using a referral program would be the best. What we did not do well is putting into the product a way to redeem whatever you had collected, right? Either letting you use that as kind of credit just to pay for gas fees or a different kind of mechanism. So it's a huge apologize from me and the rest of the team for not. I think this is the worst that we did in the past 2 years is not letting our users claiming their referral money. So that pains me, but yeah, we have a solution coming. Once we're done with this launch of V2, we have a solution coming for you. So it is very likely that we'll do, because of the delay, commercial gesture for all of our users.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that, $200, but you are forgiven in my eyes. I can wait for that $200. Let's see. The yield from the perpetuals, I think we talked about this already. The perpetual yield is not visible. You can possibly see the US dollar value of the perpetuals that you're holding, but the shares and everything are not calculated in just yet. All right, guys, I think that was all the questions that I really had to answer. I personally need to figure out how to set up a smart wallet. Maybe it's just not intuitive for me, or maybe it's actually a bug. I'm on the app right now and I just can't for the life of me figure out how to set one up.
Yeah,
but
it's good feedback. If it's not intuitive enough or there's an issue, happy. There will be a friction with one iteration of we updated over the weekend. We are pushing a new build of the app on a regular basis just to eliminate some of the bugs that have been reported. So it depends, which version you were on, and we can take that offline. And we have a fairly responsive support team. Namely, it's me at the moment. Until we grow further the size of the team, but we are trying to address every ticket within a few hours. So.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very very excited for the future of this app. Thanks for coming on and explaining all the details. I know no launch is ever perfect. iOS is on the way. Android is out right now, and it's a slow rollout of bugs. So I understand software development and how that works. It's only going to get better over time, but I think this is an initial. It's very exciting to see the initial first run, and it's something that I'll be happy to promote, especially if referral fees are better and make me even happier. But this is something that I feel like I could put it in the hands of my mom that doesn't know anything about crypto, right? And more competition is good. So if anybody wants to build apps, to compete with this, that sounds great to me. I'm going to be shilling this to whoever I think it's a good fit for. And not only does it pump the price of HEX because you increase the network effect, but it also gives you a little kickback as well for that referral. So.
Thank you very much, Matt.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye.
Thank you for the questions. Bye-bye.